Hey guys, how we doing? It is FB.INSPECTA, aka Jay Swick. I hope everybody's doing decent. So this one's gonna be a pretty quick one overall. It's just gonna be an update on what all I've done and my overall thoughts on the Joycult slash independent trucks. 6 month review here currently. Now, I've done a couple of things that I didn't necessarily think or I initially said I wasn't going to. Um, as mentioned priorly, in the 3 month, I ended up trying just blistered locking nuts on it, and that's just because they were black and I thought it looked cool. Um, as far as like current setup, we'll get to that here in a second. The only thing I've changed out other than that were the bushings. Now, did they need them at the time? Not necessarily. They were definitely starting to feel worn. The bottom bushing's perfectly fine. It's the top bushing that is just a smidge too thin. So if you set up your trucks a little bit loose, you're gonna eat through that bad boy. Um, I think I've tried it on 7. Yeah, 7 different setups now. And with these, I definitely prefer the, I guess, my larger setups, being like, we'll call it 97 plus millimeters long with like probably like 57 millimeters wheelbase to wheelbase. That's probably, if I had to guess, that's probably right around in the range. To higher that I prefer. So the only the only board that I didn't actually enjoy the independence on would have been the Loon. Loon being hands down one of my favorite boards. I keep on coming back to it. I have not touched that setup, like changing anything out. It's got the same trucks, same bushings, same wheels. The only thing I've changed out is grip. And I've been rocking that setup pretty fucking heavily. Now, that out of that being the only board that I wasn't the biggest fan of it, um, that's pretty good upside for the most part. I think it's just because it is a shorter wheelbase. I have a Loon L3 and 34 millimeter. So it is definitely a large nose shovel stubby, is the best way to explain that guy. Short stack, and I just felt like it was just, I don't want to say it was too uneasy or too loose initially, but it definitely felt like you're a monster trucking. Now, obviously that can kind of depend and change on wheels, but if you're here, you more than likely know the independent trucks are the tallest set of trucks that we have to this point. Truest to shape in 34 millimeter with, well, just the width is dead nuts on almost all these. Um, and then another thing that I might as well mention, I have not had any personal issues with this, is that on the hanger, the quality check was not done as thoroughly as a lot of us would prefer. And there was, like, we'll just call it a little teardrop. Now, whether that was the casting or that was the chroming of just an excess, I've seen it 4 times on Reddit now where they got it and there was just like a little teardrop on the what do you want to call it? The pivot point of the hanger. I don't. There's got to be an actual name for that thing, and I've never actually thought of it. Either way, the pivot point of the hanger itself has a little raised bit, and that will cause people to either run through their pivot cups quicker and or not return to center with ease. Now, once again, I'm just trying to remember what people on Reddit were saying that they're having issues with. I figured I might as well mention that. Being 6 months in, getting back to what I was saying about the bushings, I do have a set of soft Joycult bushings made by the good homie Ish over at G Sheets. Um, he includes the short locking nuts, and I did not actually care for that. I ended up putting the short locking nuts onto my BRTs because I felt like they bit and they don't have a long enough stem rod. Now, one thing that I will definitely mention that I think I should probably do, since I don't want to go with the shorter locking nut, I couldn't get it tight enough. It wasn't tight enough for me personally. And I understand they're supposed to be loose, but like I didn't like the sway. Um, but getting back to that is I should probably just put a little washer on each uh, truck spindle. Overall, are they my favorite trucks? 6 months in, I gotta say no. Are they worth the price? Once again, I gotta say no. There's a handful of different companies that are doing it just as good for a cheaper price. And I've already seen a handful of issues, but obviously I'm trying to mainly go off of my own issues. So a little bit of a sneak peek sees on this. We got the Pyro Safe Border wheels. We got Collinswood Bayou mold in 35. And it needs it all day because with them Safe Border V2 Pyros, that shit is wide, my boy. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I should like honestly input. Now, this Collinswood is a really solid choice for these for me personally. I definitely enjoyed them on my anxiety offline, but I prefer my dynamics on that board. I tried it on junk mail. I tried it on balloon. I tried it on chems. Collinswood now. I think there is one more board that I can't think of right now. Fuck, what is it? Oh, I wanted to try it on Deli. I tried it on the sesh setups, completes, whatever you want to call them from Deli. That is probably to date one of my least enjoyed board shapes. The board itself, fantastic quality. The graphic, super sick, deals with abuse really nicely, almost like it's fucking paper graphic. I barely put any use into that. Like, well, I barely got any noticeable use out of the board itself. Still a very clean board, but it's too wide, too mellow. Sorry about the yawns, just got off third shift. Too wide, too mellow, but like the concave dips are a bit aggressive, so it's kind of a funnier board to use. I definitely would like to see them update that one. Uh, Another thing on the Deli, the cheaper Chinese trucks, I literally almost had to go get a set of fucking pliers to try to get the torque on the little screwdriver to have those removed, so that could be an issue for some of y'all. But Joycult trucks, dynamic trucks, dynamic 65D butter wheels out of what Scott produces. These are like the quality is here. I've been grinding on concrete and metal and all that. I see a spot where it looks like it's physically starting to wear more than the rest of them because I do this super kicked nose grinds, nose 5-0s. But other than that, just your more or less atypical grind wear. Very, very on par. Once again, I might throw a washer under there to give it some lift and whatnot. But as far as what I'm rambling about currently, I think this is wrapping up the Joycult trucks. Are there better options? For sure. Can you feel that they're quality? Yeah, it's like picking up an iPhone. They're definitely some of the most top tier trucks that I've fucked with. And obviously you can put price value on that ranking, but there's plenty more trucks that I need to try, and for the price value, these are not slapping. So you're buying them for the independent name if you're gonna go with them overall. But either way, I appreciate you guys. Adios and bye bye.